Hello to our beautiful viewers. Welcome back to the YouTube Live Lounge. How amazing was Lejeune and Storm Reed? It was so exciting to hear everything that they talked about. If you want to hear more from Storm, you're in luck. She will be coming to this lounge a little bit later. But I'm really excited to talk to you with three inspiring activists, Raymond Santana, Winter Brienne, and Connie Brown Otter, to keep the conversation going. Remember to use the hashtag HowWeHeal, tweet, Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. And if you're already feeling hyped and ready to take a step further, click the link on the description box to visit the Day of Racial Healing website and download the resources to learn how to foster racial healing in your own community. I'm so honored and excited to have Mr. Raymond Santana of the Exonerated Five with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So how are you feeling, and how do you really define racial healing?
For me, racial healing, because of the story that we have been through, this process of over 25 years, a 30-year process, and for me, being young and being 14 years old and having everything go over my head and not really know, and then grow up in the system, define racism, right? Learn from it, and how I healed from it was to focus my energy, not to be bitter, not to be upset, but understand what happened to us as a collective, and understand who did this to us, and then how do you focus that energy on winning. And for me, that's what it came down to. It came down to being strategic, getting educated, understanding what happened, and then formulate a game plan on how we can win. So for me, racial healing is about recognizing your problems and then being creative enough to find a solution and not giving up.
As a quick recap, I hope everyone has seen When They See Us, but if you have not, it is a story of 4 teenage boys who were accused of rape and assault in New York in 1989. The case obviously stirred racial tension from coast to coast, and you lost years of your life and for a crime you did not commit. Can you give us a short story of, when you realized that race was a determinant factor in your case?
Early on, the articles. When you start to see the articles, because there were over 400 articles written about us within the first 2 weeks of this case, dissecting the lives of 14 and 15-year-old kids, and all the outrageous headlines and the labels: Wolfpack, Urban Terrorist, Wilding, Super Predator, right? And so what happened was that these headlines started to create where they start to dehumanize us, right? They start to look at us as subhuman, not as human beings, as more as animals. And this was happening to Black and Latino people all across the country. This wasn't an isolated incident. This happens all the time. And so it's earlier on that you start to see these articles and don't understand why are they depicting your life that way. You know, why are you writing these articles about us and we're just 14 and 15-year-old kids? And it isn't until later on, as you get older and I get educated, where I start to understand what happened.
And so today's event is obviously about racial healing, but I'm curious if you or someone has been harmed so monumentally by the systematic racism, how do you see that possible still? And how do you see it possible to move forward with everything?
Well, we're able to move forward because we understand the narrative and we control the narrative. And the narrative is to talk to our young people and tell them how much power that they have, how they can occupy these spaces of importance, and how they can make systematic change from within. And that's what we do. We try to empower our people to let them know that education is important, creativity is important. Maya Angelou says that you have to write it, you have to walk it, you have to sing it, you have to dance it, you have to vote it. And so this is what we do. We use our platform as that example of what happened when the system goes left. Yeah.
So what would an ideal world look like in 50 years to you?
An ideal world for me would be to see our people occupy more of these important positions and make really, really serious changes so that the level of playing field for all of us and just people in general is equal. Yeah.
And how are you, involved in, I would say, balancing involving yourself in the community and activism, but also just taking care of yourself and your own mental health?
It's hard. It's hard, and it's a day-by-day process. Some days it's harder than others, but we have the motivation to keep moving forward because it's the message, and the importance is our youth. And so at the end of the day, if I have to sacrifice a little bit of time, and I can reach somebody and I can save somebody, it's worth it.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Santana. We so appreciate everything that you're doing for the community and everything you've done.
Thank you.